HSBC, one of the world's largest banks, is accused of facilitating money laundering and terrorist financing in a newly released report by the United States Congress.
Hi, Phil. Well, Senate investigators reviewed more than 1.4 million documents. They talked to 75 HSBC bank officials, and they did this over the course of the last year. Their investigation came up with one conclusion, that HSBC did not do enough to prevent its banking affiliates from helping criminals.
Drug lords, terrorists and rogue nations were just some of the groups that moved money through HSBC, according to a year-long investigation by the US government. Clients from Saudi Arabia, Syria and Russia used the bank to move billions of dollars from illegal operations around the financial system. Their report alleges that the Mexican affiliate bank transported $7 billion to HSBC in the US, more than any other Mexican bank, but had not considered that to be suspicious. It circumvented US safeguards designed to block transactions involving terrorist drug lords and rogue states. It also provided US dollars and banking services to some banks in Saudi Arabia, despite their links to terrorist financing. The US Senate also said HSBC regularly bypassed restrictions on dealing with Iran, North Korea and other states subject to US sanctions. The bank has admitted to having poor money laundering controls and apologized.
We deeply regret and apologise for the fact that HSBC did not live up to our own expectations, the expectations of our regulators, our customers, our employees and the general public.
U.S. Senate investigation reveals that the bank's inadequate internal controls and high-risk clients may have aided and abetted criminal activity, including potential money laundering by Mexican drug traffickers, as well as terrorist financing for groups like Al-Qaeda.
The consequences are the ones that you'd expect from operating a U.S. bank with inadequate safeguards against money laundering. The U.S. bank can end up aiding and abetting transactions that fund terrorists, drug cartels, corrupt dictators, and tax cheats.
Often what we found left us very troubled, both for the risk to our nations and for the level of effort we saw to eliminate.
In hindsight,
acknowledging the bank's failures Tuesday, HSBC's top executive in charge of its anti-money laundering programs told lawmakers he's resigning.
I recognize that there have been some significant areas of failure. I have said before, and I will say again, despite the best efforts and intentions of many dedicated professionals, HSBC has fallen short of our own expectations and the expectations of our regulators.
Of the HSBC failures, according to the report, high turnover, among other things, in the compliance department, making it difficult for employees to keep track of and to track suspicious activity. But the bank really also is taking one action, at least. The bank says it will be closing all HSBC Mexico affiliates. Keep in mind, the broader picture here is that a lot of regulation and a lot of investigation has gone on in the last 10 years since the September 11th attacks, because that all too clearly illustrated the impact of money laundering on the potential for global terrorism.
HSBC had expected a fine, but not of $1.9 billion, the biggest in banking history. But the bank has avoided any criminal prosecution, which could have stopped HSBC from operating in the US altogether. Analysts say the fine will act as a wake-up call, and not just for banks.
And that should worry people.